If someone is feeling isolated right now, if someone is feeling isolated right now, what would you say to encourage them to finding sisterhood or finding a community?
I would say build your relationship with the Lord and also to not allow fear to stop you from trying. I think we
Mhm.
all, especially in the age of information, we all
Mhm.
have a hyper vigilance towards self preservation. We want to make sure nobody's getting over on us. We want to make sure we're not, mingling with jealous people, people with
Mhm.
anxious attachments, avoidant attachments. Like there's so much information. Do I want a friend that's an eldest daughter or a youngest daughter or oldest? Like we have all of this information and all the different vantage points, the pros and cons of people that it makes us all very tense. And
Yes.
it's like, and we get to see it played out in people's lives, which is very different before you really only knew to the extent of the people in your environment. And
Mhm.
so I will say there are some lessons that I had to learn by testing what I thought the Lord was showing me and what I thought I saw in that person, and then realizing that I was completely wrong, having to backtrack and then having to debrief with God about, okay, what it was in me that made me see what I thought I saw that I did not see,
Yes.
that
Come on,
made
several
me
times.
miss the person's real heart and intentions. And so,
Mhm.
as you are stepping out of fear and into faith and building those relationships, the more you practice following the Lord in the sense of meeting new people and building community, the more you'll grow in wisdom and you will eventually find your people. The second thing is we learn community very differently as kids, as young people. When you're young, you're in, primary school, middle school, high school, even in college, it's the more the merrier. Your character is based on how many people like you and how many people invite you to their birthday parties, how many people include you. When you get on
Yes.
social media, when you're in your teens and your 20s, you have 1,000 people wishing you happy birthday. The older you get, the more opinions you have, the more life you live, the more of
Mhm.
yourself you discover. That transitions from quantity to quality. And
Mhm.
so it's also okay to understand that you may have degrees of people. You may have somebody that you meet and you're like, I am not exactly ready for something deep with them, but I can do coffee. We can meet and talk about the word. We can talk about shoes. Like find a commonality with them and let it grow from there, which is my other point. As you're stepping out in faith doesn't mean that every single person you meet, you have to have this, enmeshment with, and you guys start disclosing, information out the jump, and then you have so much to backtrack from. You can start where you are. You can start with,
Yep.
okay, I can go watch a movie with this person. If you're introverted, it's like, let's watch a movie. We only have to talk while we're waiting for the tickets, waiting in line for the popcorn, and when the movie is over and we can talk about the movie. You know what I'm saying? Or let's go to coffee, let's go to a game, let's go to the mall, let's, wherever you are, start slowly with people. And you may find that, okay, I may not identify with this person in this area, but I do identify in this area. And if that's okay with this person, then we can keep the relationship right here in this space. And in this space, it can flourish.
Yeah.
And then learning how to communicate that with people. The older you get, the more
Absolutely.
you date your friends. It's like, hey, girl, so what are you looking for? You want me to call you all the time? Text me? Okay, cool. You want me to? Okay, all right, okay. Well, this is how I live. This is how I function. Blah 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 blah. If that works for you, let's keep going. If not, no harm, no foul. So
Mhm.
that was a lot to condense into a little bit of time, but it really is, everything is growing you into Christ likeness, including the friends that you develop. And so you do have to manage that tension of stepping out in faith, taking your time, and just learning how to navigate sisterhood.
Mhm.